And once they figured out it was me, they was like, Tim, what happened? I said, I don't know. He just said it. I'm just doing it. And after a couple of weeks, is he here? I was hoping he was here. After a couple of weeks, I started to get it. And I really felt bad because I felt as if there he is. I felt as if he had more confidence in me than I had in myself. He believed in me more than I believed in myself. So we get into the season my junior year, and it goes great for me. And now I'm following him around like a little puppy dog, trying to figure out he has something else for me to do. My senior year goes great, and I end up winning the Heisman Trophy. And I can tell you, without the great Lou Holtz, I would not have won the Heisman Trophy. I would not have been a first-round pick in the NFL. I probably would have got drafted, but I would have just been a guy. I mean, the things that he instilled in me made me a better man. And Coach Holtz, I love you. Just want to say thank you. And God knows, whatever I can do for you, you know I'm there for you. I was drafted by the LA Raiders. Mr. Ron Wolf actually drafted me into the NFL. You know, I don't know what my agent Marvin Demoff did to get me to the Raiders. You know, I heard stories like he told the teams in between that I had an aunt to die in the city or something, and I would have all these, you know, flashbacks if I had to come play there. So in some kind of way, he got me to the Raiders because that was a team that we figured I could excel in. I could excel at. And once I got there, I realized that this game was a little different. I had the great James Lofton there as a wide receiver at the time, and my first day, and Mike Haynes was there also, which was not fun at all, going up against him. You know, my last year at Notre Dame, I was in the wishbone most of the time. So I was used to wearing very big pads. So I came out to practice the first day and I had all these Dunz's pads on it. These things are huge. I mean, they're like Earl Campbell, like huge. And everybody's looking at me laughing like, dude, what are you doing? I said, man, this is how I get down. This is how I play the game. And James Lofton pulled me over and said, this is not going to work, Ricky. You got to go back in and change. And I listened to him and things went well. You know, I had a great rookie year. You know, broke a lot of records, all that kind of stuff. But the most important thing to me, people were saying because of the Heisman jinx and all that, that maybe I couldn't get it done on that level. And the very first time I touched the ball in the NFL, I returned a kick 97 yards for a touchdown. So that was probably the best thing that could happen because all the critics went away, and now it's just a matter of going out and playing football and having a great time. But it's my second year, I was thrown a wrinkle. I got hurt the opening game of the year returning the kickoff. And at this particular point, because of the injury that I have to my knee, the doctors literally told me, we don't know if we can get you walking straight. And so playing football may be something that's not in the plans for you anymore. And I was shocked by that, but I worked extremely hard to get back. You know, I knew that if I kept working, that maybe I couldn't be a guy that was 4'3" anymore and had all these great moves. But at the same time, you know, I felt I could play the game and be helpful to a football team. You know, I believe that ends up being the best thing that could have ever happened to me in my career. You know, I had ended up leading the Raiders in receiving because James got hurt and a couple other receivers got hurt. And I ended up leading the team in receptions. I was trying to return punts and kicks and be a receiver. And that's how I was starting out that year. But by that injury happening, all of a sudden, that was all taken away from me. It was taken away from me to the point where Al Davis came to me and said, you're going to be the best third down receiver, punt returner to ever play the game. And I was like, third down receiver, punt returner? Yeah, there's a couple downs missing in that. But that's what he meant. When he said it, he meant it. And for the next 2 years, I never played on first and second down. I only played on third down. I think I caught 18 passes one year, 36 passes the next year. In 92, Mervin Fernandez gets hurt in the middle of the season, and I ended up having to take over for him and played well, and the rest is history, as they say. You know, the next 5 years for me went pretty good, but really the reason why I'm here now and standing on the precipice of going into the NFL Hall of Fame is because of another coach. The silver and black like to call him Chucky. I call him Brewdog. When John came to the Raiders, I was going into my 11th year. And the 4 years I had with him were just incredible years, not just because of the numbers, but because of the games we were playing and the importance of the games. And so it put me out there in a totally different, on a totally different level. So John, I know you were supposed to be here. I hope you're here, man. God bless you. I love you, man. And thank you for everything that you've done. You know, my football story is pretty unique. You know, again, I played 27 years and, you know, I only had one shot at a championship. But I'm very grateful and thankful that I did have that shot. You know, when you get 34, 35, 36 in the league, you stop saying you want to win a championship. You start saying, Lord, let me play in a championship game. And I did have that opportunity, and it wasn't the experience I was looking for, but at the same time, I'm certainly glad that I had that experience. You know, leaving the Raiders was tough. My last year, I ended up playing in Tampa, and I want to thank Gruden and Bruce Allen again for giving me a very soft place to land, because as we all know as players, when you get cut and you have to leave and go home, it's a very difficult thing. But thankfully, Gruden was down in Tampa, and Bruce and a whole bunch of Raiders. Matter of fact, they started calling Tampa the Raiders of the East Coast. And so I had a very easy place to go and walk out of this game. You know, my football career is great, but again, this would not have happened without so many people. And, you know, some of my high school teammates and friends are here. You know, I want to thank those guys for everything they've done. Some of the great coaches I've had, Tom Clark, who used to pick me up when I was 12, 13 years old in the summer and make me work out and do all those things. Richard Mason, my high school coach, who unfortunately passed away a couple months ago. The great Leon Hamilton. Coach Ham, I know you're here. If you're here, stand up so the people around you can know who you are. There he is right there. Coach Ham was that coach that kept me motivated. When we were losing all those games in high school, he would always come and be in my ear and tell me, keep playing. Just keep playing. Just keep doing what you can do. And Coach, I really appreciate that. The great Jerry Faust. Coach, I don't know if you're here, but Jerry, some kind of way, convinced my mom to let me go 1,200 miles away to the University of Notre Dame to play football there. But she had one question for him before I walked out, and that was he going to try and convert me over to Catholicism? Because she wasn't going for that. The great one, Ron Wolf again. Ron, thank you so much. Mike Shanahan, who was my rookie coach. Thank you, guys. Terry Rubisky, who kept me sane in some of those early years with the Raiders. Nick Nicolau, who was my first receiver coach for 1 year. Nick used to tell me things. Unfortunately, Nick passed away a couple months ago also. He would tell me things like, great players allow their fans remember their great plays. The great players remember the plays that they did make. And that was something that stuck with me my whole career. Jim Falso, Ray Perkins, offensive coordinators that I had. And of course, the great Fred Biletnikoff, who for 15 years I had Fred as a coach. He stepped away for a year and a half because of a situation that he was dealing with. But Freddie was a great coach to have. When you have a Hall of Fame coach, you know. But I have to tell you guys the story. I wasn't going to tell it, but now I'm going to tell it. So I didn't know anything about Fred Biletnikoff, but I knew he was a great player and all that. So the first practice that we have, you know, I ran the wrong route, dropped the ball or something, and Fred must have cursed me like no man has ever cursed me before. So I practiced the rest of the day with a little tear in my eye. And after practice, I went to Fred and said, Freddie, we're not going to make it like that. I need for you to talk to me a little differently. So we worked that thing out, and for 15 years we had an incredible relationship. His lovely wife, Angela, is here, and Dasha, their daughter. Thank you, Freddie. Love you, man. Mike Wilson, who took over for Fred for a year and a half or so. Mike, I know you're here, man. God bless you, brother. Thank you so much for all you did. I started my career with Shanahan and Mike Shanahan, and I ended my career in Tampa with Kyle Shanahan being the backup coach to Richard Mann down in Tampa Bay. So thank you guys for all you did. Now, I don't know if there's ever been a wide receiver to make it into the Hall of Fame who's had 20 quarterbacks in their time. Now, I caught a ball from 19 of these guys, and I'll let you guys figure out which one I didn't catch a ball for. I'm not going to tell you guys that. But here they are: Steve Berline, Jay Schrader, Todd Marinovich, Vince Evans, Jeff Hostetler, Billy Joe Holbert, David Klingler, Jeff George, Donald Hollis, Wade Wilson, Rich Gannon. Thank you for number 1,000, Rich. I love you, brother. Bobby Hoying, Rick Meyer, Marcus Tuiasosopo, Rodney Peete, Rob Johnson, Brian Greasy, Brad Johnson. Caught my 100th touchdown from him. Thank you very much. And Chris Sims. So that's the list, guys. You know, it's not often that, again, you know, I started out talking about the power of positive people. This one next guy that I want to talk about real quick is a good friend of mine. I've been knowing him since I was 12 or 13, and he's been by my side from day one, and that's my good friend, Marcus Camper. I mean, Marcus, I can remember we were playing, we had just lost the AFC Championship game to the Baltimore Ravens at home. And when I came out of the locker room, I was booing too, so y'all can boo. When I came out the locker room, I just didn't know what to say. People were talking to me, I didn't know what to say. And someone asked me if I was all right. And I couldn't answer the question. And he looked at the guy and said, "Yes, he's all right, he's all right." And I was like, I guess I'm all right then, because Marcus said I'm all right. But Marcus has been an incredible godly man, an incredible godly friend. I love you, brother, and thank you for everything. Where are my brothers from Notre Dame? Where are you? Stand up, boys, stand up. The brothers of Notre Dame. We call ourselves Bond, B-O-N-D, Brothers of Notre Dame. Thank you, guys. I love you guys, man. Lifetime friendship. Fighting Irish fans, are you here?